Hi, my name is Sophia Sakel from the LMU Munich in Germany. I'm presenting our work, The Social Journal, investigating technology to support and reflect on meaningful social interactions. This work was done in collaboration with my co-authors Tabea, Blenk, Albrecht, Schmidt, and Haliburton. Humans are social. Social interaction is a crucial part of what it means to be human. The frequency and quality of social interactions have a significant impact on both physical and mental health. What we see at the moment is numbers of people who feel lonely rising significantly. In 2023, the World Health Organization declared loneliness as a pressing health threat and started a commission to foster social connection. While digital interactions leave digital traces automatically, the capturing of in-person social interactions currently lack technological support, although they oftentimes have the even more profound emotional impact. Research on social sensing has explored methods to automatically track such in-person social interactions using smartphone sensors. Social sensing has been used to detect loneliness, social context, or social interactions quality. However, there has been limited research in the field that presented the collected data back to the user. What we know from research on the quantified self or personal informatics is that people aim to self-manage their own health, and technology can actually support self-reflection. Self-tracking and self-reflection using technology is a growing field in HCI, and we know from prior work that has investigated a lot of aspects to track both physical and mental health. For example, mood tracking, live logging, sleep, or activity. However, social interactions are unexplored so far. Now, considering the substantial impact of social interactions on users' well-being, there is a gap in HCI research aiming to support users' social life. To address this gap, we investigate the untapped potential of self-tracking and its implication on enhancing users' self-reflection and overall well-being. We explore how technology can actively support tracking social encounters, their impact on mood, and how it can support the reflection on everyday social interactions. Particularly, we focus on meaningful synchronous social interactions that lack digital traces, such as in-person conversations. In our work, we investigate user needs to reflect on their social interactions using technology, and in particular, how a mobile application can support users in that task, and how they track and reflect on social interactions in practice. To answer our research questions, we first conducted an online survey to answer our research question 1. Then we implemented a prototype that we then tested in the wild, which helped us to answer our research questions 2 and 3. The goal for our online survey was to find out how and on what aspects of social interactions people want to reflect on, and what they expect from a digital application to support them in that task. Our results suggest that people think that they have relatively too few social interactions and contacts rather than too many. This underlines that loneliness is a social problem. Participants would like to be supported through technology in keeping track of their social interactions in a diary-style format to allow them to track and reflect on their social life. We also found that the most interesting aspects of social life is the frequency of social interactions and the associated emotion. We also found privacy concerns about automated data collection, especially when it's about tracking the social interaction partner. Based on our findings and related work, we conceptualized and implemented our prototype, the Social Journal. The Social Journal allows people to track individual social interactions. We identified 5 important aspects of social interactions that participants claim are relevant while also acceptable to track through technology. Those 5 aspects are the type of interaction, the duration, the feeling it evoked, the amount of people that were involved, and the interpersonal relationship. Further information such as the specific person, the location, or the content of the conversations are additional aspects that of course also have impact on the interaction. But users expressed privacy concerns about tracking them with technology, which is why we added an optional field to take notes. Another way to track their social interactions was implemented through what we call daily recap, where users reflect on their respective day, how they felt and how they perceived their social load, ranging from lonely to socially exhausted, which is then visualized on the top of their journal. The app also provides feedback on the collected data to show the mood throughout the week or month and the experienced social load. It also shows some analytics of the different emotions that were connected to different people, different amounts of social contact, or different types of social interactions. We then tested our prototype in the wild with 25 participants, which enabled us to gain insights into how users track and reflect on social interactions in practice. They used the app for 14 days, followed by a questionnaire and some exit interviews to evaluate our system. Looking at the usage patterns, we see high usage in the evening hours. We see that participants tracked social interactions throughout the day, but really most of the social interactions were tracked during the evening hours. And we also see that the daily recaps are tracked in the evening hours mostly, and only few did the recaps later on or the day after. We also see a strong preference to track in-person encounters in intimate or close-knit conversations, so meaning in one-on-one or small group settings. Our findings show that the app supported users to reflect on their social interactions and to reflect on how these are connected to their emotions and their well-being. The app fostered self-reflection through manual tracking, which already prompted users to think about the impact of the social interaction. The visualization of the diary entries allowed users to revisit the interactions and revisit what emotions they evoked. The charts, tables, and overviews visualized the links and patterns within their social life and well-being. To now answer our research questions 2 and 3 on how a mobile application can support to track and reflect on social interactions and how users actually do that in practice, we found some considerations for technology-supported reflection on social interactions. From an interaction perspective, users highlighted that they're interested in technology, providing them with overviews, so statistics about their social life, and judgments to find links and patterns within their data, and also are interested in actionable recommendations or, more specifically, reminders. Emotion tracking is also an essential part of our system. Here, users were divided between appreciating the simplicity of entering the emotions with the emotion wheel that we provided and wishing for a more complex representation of emotions, or stating the intensity instead, or giving more than one emotion at once. Our results suggest that users might favor logging in-person interactions. So we speculate that this is not only because they have an impact on well-being and they are perceived as meaningful, but also because at the moment such interactions do not leave digital traces, adding to the value of an app to support the entirety of their social life. Additionally, participants deleted nearly 1/3 of the passively tracked phone calls, indicating again that not every interaction should be tracked and not every interaction is perceived as meaningful. Designers of future systems for tracking social interactions should support the detailed tracking of in-person encounters. This is typically done with manual tracking. However, participants in our field study were interested in additional automated tracking, suggesting opportunities to incorporate social sensing technologies. However, designers should clearly consider privacy issues that we also found in our online survey and consider that the additional reflection opportunities arise from manual tracking. For future work, our next steps are a long-term study with our prototype to see the motivation of tracking long-term. Also, we want to explore how to include concrete recommendations or reminders as users wished for that. Another opportunity for future work is the expansion of our prototype to allow for a multifaceted daily reflection, because mood is not only influenced by social components throughout the day, and participants of our study were interested to add other aspects as well. And finally, investigating passive tracking to find a way to not burden users with input that can automatically be tracked, but still keep the benefit of reflection that arises from manual tracking and consider privacy. And this brings me to the end of my talk. So with our work, we were able to show that technology can support users in tracking and reflecting on social interactions. Users track meaningful interactions, which are especially in-person interactions in close-knit settings. We also found that self-tracking fosters awareness of how social life impacts well-being. If you would like to get more details about our study and the findings, please take a look at our paper, or feel free to contact me if you have any other questions. Thank you.